Water ram pump, it's called by several different names. The purpose of a water ram is to get water from a lower elevation to a higher elevation without using electricity. The design of this water ram was taken from Mr. Thessalonian on YouTube. He has a very good detailed video on how to build this very one. The way a water ram works is you have an inline which has some elevation to it, and the inline comes in and it's going to usually be larger than your outline to create enough pressure. But what happens is you get a pressure coming in from your elevation. It comes down through here and wants to go up and out of this check valve. This check valve has a stopper which, when the pressure is built from the water pressure coming in, it slaps shut and keeps it from going out. This in turn creates a back pressure which wants to return and go back, but it meets the pressure coming this way. Therefore, the path of least resistance pushes it up into this tank here. This tank can be different sizes depending on your need. I'll tell you what this water ram does and the type of efficiency I'm getting after I'm done explaining how this works. The pressure goes up into this tank. This valve here has a flap on it that shuts and does not allow the water to go back down. So as this one closes, this one opens and lets more pressure in. Every time this one shuts, more pressure is put up into this tank. As the pressure builds in this tank, the path of least resistance is now your half-inch line out, or depending on what size you have. I have about 10 feet of elevation coming into my inline, and I get 200 feet going up this ridge, up this bluff to the top of the ridge, and it's probably about 90 feet elevation, and it comes down over there across the creek and into my property. I get 40 psi. Every 100 feet of vertical fall in a 1-inch line will give you 43 psi. So I have about 90 feet, so I have about 40 psi. The problem with a water ram that you're going to have, which probably everybody has when they build one, is to get it going properly. Meaning to get it to work as you're seeing it work right now. What will happen is, it does not matter how much pressure you have coming into this line. You will think it does when you start trying to get one going, because it'll slap shut and this valve will stay shut. And you'll push it down and it'll slap shut again. And you'll get kind of frustrated thinking that you didn't make the water ram the proper way, but you probably did. What's going to happen is this is going to keep slapping shut and you're going to keep pushing it down to create a back pressure in this tank. And you also want water in your line going out, because without water and without pressure, or you can make a valve here on your out and shut it to create this pressure, but without pressure in this tank, this will continue to slap shut and stay shut until the pressure balances out in this tank. This will slap shut or it'll be erratic, but keep pushing this down until that pressure is built. It may take 10-15 minutes sometimes, but it will create a back pressure and eventually it will do this continuously. As long as the line is clear and you're getting clean water down and no leaves and debris, this will go indefinitely until your check valve wears out. So it is a great way to pump water from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. Don't get frustrated with the check valve. Just remember to keep pushing it down, create a back pressure. It is wise to get water in line so you have a pressure that can come against this in order to get this working properly. The tank that I'm using right now is a 3-foot tank. I haven't made many of these. This is my second one actually. The tank is 3 feet tall. It does not have an inner tube in it, which some people put an inner tube or a pool noodle to give it a baffle effect to help the water push vertically better. I don't know how much better it works myself. I have not tested two to tell the difference, The information I'm getting online also is that if you have a line, say other than poly, I'm using black poly pipe, you'll see up here how it moves. I have to put rocks on it because it really jumps a lot. And this jumping, if you use a pipe like a PVC pipe or a steel pipe, it will keep that from jumping and actually give you a higher vertical push. I'm getting 200 feet from 9 feet of elevation from head fall into the inline, so I don't need to go higher than that. I could probably get more water out of it, but it's doing us very well. So this is a water ram, and I would suggest the PVC parts. I don't foresee it tearing up anytime soon. The check valves probably going to be brass wherever you get them, but I guess there are PVC check valves, but these are the kind that you want to use. And the PVC seems to be much quieter than anything else. I made one previous to this out of iron pipe, and it just seemed to clack a lot louder because of the pipe. But this is the water ram. It is for getting water from a lower elevation to a higher elevation without electricity, and it works great.